Welcome back. Most committee work and bill passage took a break this week and yielded to the budget. Appropriations subcommittee chairs in both the House and Senate spent the week reporting to the big appropriations chairs in both chambers, and they're setting their recommendations on the budget as we speak. In terms of our building code regulatory reform bill, after successful passage of Senate Bill 166 last week in the House, NCHBA's lobbying team spent much of the week working with senators in an effort to bring them up to speed on the provisions in the legislation. While no action was taken on the bill this week, the foundation was laid for future advancement of this bill. There are nearly 30 provisions in this bill spanning a wide array of home construction. And while this is a Senate bill, all but one provision was added in the House. Over the coming days and weeks, our team will work with members of the Senate to explain the importance of each provision in an effort to seek concurrence on this legislation. Another bill that we're watching this week deals with predatory roofing. Yes, I said predatory roofing. For a few sessions now, property and casualty insurance companies have sought legislation to protect consumers from unscrupulous roofers who arrive on the scene after a recent natural disaster. While there have been numerous versions of this over many sessions, one thing has remained consistent. We have worked with bill sponsors to make sure that they include an exception work done by a licensed general contractor. On Wednesday, the House Judiciary II Committee unveiled Senate Bill 124, Predatory Roofing, which provides that contracts for residential roofing repair are subject to a 5-day cancellation period following the insurance claim denial for work to be performed under this contract. NCHBA helped draft this bill's exception language to ensure that the requirement does not apply to licensed general contractors or any folks working under a licensed general contractor. Another bill that kept us busy this week is House Bill 228, Revenue Laws, Technical Clarifying and Administrative Changes. This bill creates a penalty for the misuse of an affidavit on a capital improvement. The bill also sets the penalty at $250. Furthermore, the legislation requires that the affidavit must be given within 90 days of the sale. Once the affidavit is given, a general contractor is not required to provide it again to a subcontractor. Since the inception of the RMI sales tax collection, our association has worked to ensure that there is no undue burden placed on our members. We remain committed to that ideal, and we will work with finance chairs in both the House and Senate to ensure no new regulatory burdens are placed on our industry. Last week's legislative report introduced House Bill 198, DOT legislative changes. Well, that bill took a giant step forward this week. The bill, which passed the House last year, cleared the Senate on Wednesday. One provision in particular caused our industry great concern. DOT sought the authority to determine and assess fees for all programs that issue permits. This would include many in which our industry utilizes, like driveway permits, subdivision, traffic impact analysis, and encroachment reviews. Many of these services are provided now by DOT without a fee, and those which have fees are minimal. For example, the current driveway permit fee is only $50. As previously stated, there may be a need to impose reasonable fees for better service. However, we are concerned about unfettered DOT discretion in setting these fees. The bill now moves back to the House for concurrence. I'm here with a very huge supporter of the housing industry over the last few years, Representative Carla Cunningham from the great city of Charlotte in Mecklenburg County. She has helped us on our legislative agenda for numerous years. We can't thank her enough, and we'd like to recognize her as our Legislator of the Week this week. She's currently in her 7th term, and throughout her time in the General Assembly, she's been a great advocate for our industry and the healthcare industry, which is your background.
Yes. Thank you, Stephen, for the introduction. Yes, I have been very, very mindful of affordable housing in my district particularly, and I know it exists all over the states. And I have been very, very willing to work with the Home Builders Association, and I appreciate the communication with them as well as the cooperation to stay true to this issue. So I really like Stephen and all of the lobbyists that are down here that work with us.
Well, thank you so much for your support over the years. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Cunningham, for all your support for our industry over the last several years. It's been impressive, and we cannot thank you enough. Don't forget about our upcoming legislative reception and legislative visits coming up on June 4th and 5th. For more information, read our written legislative report. I'll see you next week.